J2E is available at the Hub website. Now then, every pupil at Richmond Park has been issued with a Hub username and password. This is a website created by Welsh Government, and they have spent millions and millions of pounds on this Hub website. You simply type in hubcymru.net and it comes up. And the pupils in school have got their own unique sign-in username and password. Once they sign in, if I go back to this page, type in my details. Okay, every pupil will see this page, and the Welsh Government have spent millions and millions of pounds investing into these different apps. Now, each app is unique, and some of the apps would be used more towards the top end of the school. Something like Google for Education would be more suited to pupils in year 5 and 6, same as Office 365, whereas J2E5, the one we're going to discuss today, is, I would say, suitable for such a large range that we use it from nursery all the way up to year 6. But this is the one we're talking about today, and this is where to find it. Once you click into it, it is a little bit like there are apps within the app, and each app has a different function. This is what the pupils will see on their homepage. The first section here called My File. So any work that the pupil does, whether it be in year 1 or in year 6, their work will save automatically into their files. This is Mr. Cooper's files, but as a teacher, we can then look at pupil files. So we can look at pupil files. I am currently teaching the year 3 class, and all my pupils have their own file, and I can go into each pupil's file and see what their latest piece of work is. So if I open up one of my pupils' files, I can see that in the last topic, we had a digital task of inserting images of themselves. Our last topic was the it was looking at the body, and one of the topics was looking at teeth, and they used a digital skill of putting in their own picture, editing the picture by putting a different picture on top, and even using some audio to put on top of the picture to see how they would feel if their teeth ended up like this through bad dental health. Excuse me, let's take you back to the home page. Now then, other aspects that we can do on it. Excuse me. As a teacher, I have put in a couple of websites here for pupils to use. Topic at the moment, we are looking at maps. So I've been able to bookmark Google Maps. So your child or any pupil within the school, instead of having to search for Google Maps on the internet themselves, as long as they can find their J2E files, which we are confident in school that each child can do, all they need to do is click on the link, and it should theoretically take them straight to the page that they want to get to, as you can see. It's a little bit slow this morning, but it is worth out. A lot of the fuss, and we don't have pupils getting lost in the middle of lesson trying to find things, because it's nice and simple, ready to use. Another good aspect of J2E is J2 Blast, which is this section here. J2 Blast allows pupils to practice their times tables and their spelling. And it also allows them to take part in SATs-based tests. And you have your bottom of the school, the foundation phase. You have your Key Stage 2, which ranges from year 3 to year 6. And you have the Key Stage 3 then going up into QE High age tests here. Just to give you an example of how TT Blasts works, and to click on it, you have the option of playing a practice round on your own, or you have the option of going live. And what this is you get the opportunity to play a competition against pupils from all around the world. So we'll give it a go. Okay, and you can see 20 divided by 10, you click in your answer. And as you get your question correct, your rocket moves. 15 divided by 5, 3, and your rocket is moving. And the rockets down here are other pupils from across the United Kingdom. And obviously, the faster you go, further your rocket gets. And by the end of the time, you see who's won. And you get points for winning competitions. And then you can edit your avatar. And you collect more coins to buy more things for your avatar. So it's just a nice little game, bit of competition, and obviously you can pinpoint those skills. So you may want a division practice, so the J2E system just gives you division questions. Same if you want times tables practice, it'll give you times tables practice, and so on. As we go further up the school, towards year 5 and year 6, we have the function of J2 Office. And what this is basically a Word, what's it called? Excel document. This is PowerPoint. And there's one other function. But these are the 3 main functions that pupils can use online. So again, it doesn't matter if you don't have Microsoft Word at home, or you haven't paid for the Microsoft packages because they're very costly. In theory, the pupils now don't need it because it's all available to them through Hub. So you've got all the usual functions of Word. They would type in their work here, and it would save directly to their J2E files. Okay, so that's J2 Office, where we would use more towards the top of the school. Coming down to maybe year 3 and 4, where I'm currently teaching, we use a lot more of J2E5. J2E5 is similar to Word, where you can create a text. So, excuse me. It's slightly easier for pupils to use because they can simply click where they would like to type and it does it for it. Whereas with the Word, you'd have to align the language, or sorry, you'd have to align the text. And when you go to insert pictures, it's a little bit more difficult to navigate the pictures. But with this one, you can search the web for pictures. I'll search for football. Oh, not what I was thinking, but you can see with this, you can simply drag and drop onto the J2E document, whereas with the Microsoft Word, you'd have to format the picture and align it next to the language. So this is a nice, easy way of introducing pupils in year 3 to a text-based document, really, and they can create posters, they can write stories, they can do all sorts of things using this tool. And further down the school, looking at your year 1 and 2 pupils, they would be accessing JIT, which is this one here. Again, JIT allows pupils to do all sorts. You've got your writing section here, and pupils can get used to typing their names, their addresses, their peers' names. You've got a couple of different fonts. You can change the color, and you can even add in words for pupils who are not quite as confident of writing themselves, and they can stick them in, can make the text larger, etc. You've got a paint function, which is simply painting the screen, but you can also add stamps. So it's nice, whatever their theme is. If the theme is the zoo, there'll be pictures of zoo animals there. We've recently had Halloween, and pupils designed their own Halloween posters, adding text and adding pictures with the Halloween theme. And as they go through the school, obviously it progresses, and they end up using PowerPoint and Word documents up in year 5 and 6. But on JIT, you've also got this section, which introduces pupils to coding, just by giving directions. You've got functions to create charts. They can create bar charts, pie charts, and lots and lots of other things. Okay, branch chains, something we've used in year 3 this year. And it develops the pupils' language skills, open and closed questions. So pupils would pick 2 or 3 different animals. Oh. By asking questions. So would you find the animal in a zoo? So pupils would come up with the questions. Would you find the animal in a zoo? And they would then have to sort the animal. So a zebra, possibly yes. A worm, possibly no. I wouldn't pay to go and see a worm in the zoo. But it is developing the type of questioning that pupils can come up with, and the chain then becomes longer and longer and longer, and they're trying to create the chain so that you're only left with one animal at the end of the questioning. So again, a very useful tool, especially lower down the school. You've got shared files. Shared files allows pupils to send their peers their work. As a teacher, I may have an example of a very good piece of work, and I want to share it with the pupils, and I can send it out to the whole school here. So if I give you an example, Gaelert, this is the story of Gaelert, and this week I recorded it just using my voice, and I have shared it with the whole of my year 3 class. So when my pupils go into shared files here, they are able to listen to the story of Gaelert. This is also useful when giving out homework. Homework menus are often shared on the shared files section. Pupils can then do their homework using any of these tools, whether it be J2 Office, J2E5, JIT, and they can save it into their file section, and the pupil and the teachers can then access it and comment on it. There are a couple of other functions that are really useful for teachers. Coding is going to be a really big development within the new curriculum. It's the way the world is going, and there is a code function on J2E. Again, you've got lessons here for lower down the school all the way up to the top of the school. They get more complex, but pupils can access this at home. They can access it at school time. Sorry. And they can develop their coding skills. It's a very stop tour of J2E. As you can see, I haven't covered everything. These here at the top are just links to different websites that we use every day in school. So SumDog is a website that the school have signed up to for pupils to practice their maths questions. So if pupils just click on this link, it takes them straight to the website. They haven't got to go searching for it through a web search engine. Same with Epic, same with Speaker, and same with Google Maps. Maths and English skills here, just a set of questions differentiated to year groups. J2 homework says it is what it says. We upload our homework onto J2 homework, and then pupils can access it and complete their homework online. They don't have to go into this tab to complete their homework. If they see that their homework is to create a PowerPoint on maybe a Greek god, then they can decide where they want to complete that homework. They may want to go into J2E5 and create a poster on a Greek god. They may want to go into J2 Office and write a paragraph about their favorite Greek god. They may decide that they want to create a PowerPoint in J2 Office, or again, they may want to decide to do something different on JIT. It may be a branch chain trying to sort between the different Greek gods and their powers. So lots and lots of different options within J2E. Lots of useful tools for both teachers and pupils. I'm sure you'll agree. But at the same time, it's a lot to get your head around. The first time you see this screen, there's so much on it that you do feel a bit lost. And it does take a bit of time just to click into each section of it and just have a go at it, basically. But the most used tabs are the pupils, or your files, the pupils' files, the shared files, and these tools then, the J2 Office, J2E5, JIT, Blast, and J2 Code. I hope it's given you a bit of an insight as to what pupils get up to in school, how they save their digital work, and how we as teachers can access the pupils' work. Oh, one other thing, I do apologise. I'll just show you how we as teachers can then comment on the pupils' work and access it. So as I said, I currently teach in year 3. I can open up one of my pupils' files here. We'll go back to the same one. And then Sad has just completed a chain map here. I can take a look at the chain map. I can open it up, make sure that it is correct. And then I go back to his J2E work and, excuse me, and I can comment on it by clicking on here. Great work, Sad. and so on and so on. Now then, if I think it's a very good piece of work, something that the other pupils in class need to see, I can also then share the work and send it out to the rest of the pupils in year 3. So it's that getting to see what your peers are getting up to, getting to see what a good one looks like before they attempt another one themselves, really. So it's things that we've been doing in class on paper for years. If we see a really good example in class, we might hold it up in front of the class or get the pupil to come out and explain how they completed their work. But this is just doing it in a digital format. So once again, thank you very much for taking the time really to listen to the presentation. Are there any questions that you may have? Oh, excuse me, regarding J2E, please feel free to unmute, or if you don't, if you're not comfortable in doing that, then please feel free to write a question in the conversation bar. Okay, thank you. It doesn't seem like there are any questions out there. So once again, thank you for taking the time to listen to the presentation. I hope you have a better insight of what your child is able to access on J2E and the hub, and how that is going to have an impact on making the DCF, the digital platform, equally as important as literacy and numeracy moving forward on the new curriculum. So once again, thank you for listening. And if you do have any questions after the meeting has ended, then if you type them into the conversation bar, then we will still receive them and we can get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Owl.